Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica, and in today's video I will be doing a December no-buy update. And the reason why I waited this long was not because I broke my no-buy and I was feeling guilty. It was more like I felt like there was nothing to talk about because I just feel like it's the same every month. I just feel like my no-buy has been pretty easy because there's like not many rules. It's just you can't buy anything that's makeup related, and it's been going great because that's the only rule I need to follow. It's not like I'm restricted by money or the number of items I can buy. In fact, I feel like a no-buy is easier than a low-buy, which I've been doing the past 2 years. But anyways, I'm just gonna get into my empties and then do my talking points at the end. Unfortunately, these are not all of my empties from the past few months because then I would have like at least 3 more of these bins. But this is what I have, and I'm just going to reach in from the top and go over my empties, and because I feel like maybe more people might be interested in my empties than what I have to say. The first product I have is my Trader Joe's Daily Facial Sunscreen. This has a broad spectrum SPF 40, and I did not like this. At first I thought I did, and then I realized that it feels like a silicone primer, which I really do not like. I know plenty of people who love this, but I personally do not love it. So I gave it to my husband to use because he's not very picky, and we finished it while we were in Hawaii. And actually, not finished it, we used up a good chunk of it while we were there, and it expired last month, so I'm just going to get rid of it. I don't think it's usable anymore, plus it's pretty thin. We used pretty much almost all of it. There might be like a little bit left. Yeah, you actually have to work pretty hard to get any product out. So this might be empty, and I don't know why we held on to it for so long. I would not repurchase this. If my husband liked it, I would buy it again because it is a reasonable price. But we have a new favorite sunscreen brand. It is the Hawaiian Tropics brand. We tested it out while we were in Hawaii, and it was amazing. No sunburns, no even turning red, and it was very nice and light and actually quite hydrating. So that's the hydrating. That's the sunscreen I would recommend. I have a Glow Recipe Strawberry Smooth BHA Salicylic Serum. This is clarifying and retexturizing. I loved this, and I tried using up every last drop of it, but it was so hard at the end. So the pump does really get a lot of the product out. At least this one did. It's not the same for every pump. I feel like sometimes you have to tip it upside down and then you can use it for another week. But for this one, I could only use it like 2 additional days after removing the pump. I finished this a while ago actually. It's just been sitting around, but I forgot to put it in this bin because I removed the pump and lost the stopper. So I was afraid of it making a mess, which it did. Unfortunately, I didn't purchase a backup, so I'm using a different serum, but I would go back to this one after I finish my other serums. Right now I'm using my collagen serums that I bought way too many of, but I really like this one because it makes your skin glowy and it feels nice. I feel like my skin is a lot more rough now that I've stopped using this, so this actually does make a difference, which I wasn't sure if it made a difference or not because I had been using it for such a long time that I wasn't sure if it was me or the serum. So now I know it's the serum. I have an oil-free eye makeup remover. This is the Target generic brand of the Neutrogena eye makeup remover, and it's like the split oil makeup remover. I always use an eye makeup remover before removing the rest of my makeup because my eyes are very sensitive and I need this because if I put on a cleansing balm, my vision goes blurry for like, I don't know, 30 seconds, which in hindsight is not that bad, but I'd rather not have blurry vision. This doesn't really get on my eyelashes like how the cleansing balm does. I've been using this for years and I've gone through many of this. The only time I stray from this product is when I get a free eye makeup remover. Next I have, this is usually in my empties, I go through about one of these a month, which is very expensive, by the way. This is the Sol de Janeiro Bom Dia Bright cream. It costs 48 US. I have tried straying from this and finding a cheaper alternative, but nothing works as well as this. I use this for my keratosis pilaris. I have very dry skin as a result of that, and no matter how much water I drink, my skin will never be as hydrated as my younger brother's, who doesn't have keratosis pilaris. So I don't know why he told me such bullshit, but I still drink a lot of water just in case. This makes my skin smooth until the next day. Whenever I use a different body lotion, my skin becomes really dry again. So that's why I keep using this one, even though it is so expensive. I just have to cut costs in other areas. The next product I have is my Nature Republic Super Aqua Max combination cream. They've changed the packaging. It used to have like a swirly top lid. This is the XL size. I first used this when I was like 18 years old and I loved it, and then I stopped using it for a while. I forgot why. I use the Trader Joe's moisturizer whenever I don't have this, but I think that it is worth the extra money for this over the Trader Joe's. Like, it smells nicer and I feel like it feels more luxurious. Well, okay, yes, it is more expensive, but you get more product in this. I think the Trader Joe's one is like 80 milliliters. I have to like fact check myself later. I do prefer this one more, and it is not super expensive, so a little does last quite a while. So I'm more willing to buy this. Like, a jar of this costs less than the Sol de Janeiro and it lasts a lot longer. I have a Trader Joe's hand cream. This is what it looks like. Very old-fashioned looking. I used to go through one of these a month because I only had one, but now I think I have 2 in the house and then 2 at my desk, but the ones at my desk are the scented ones. These are only $5 and they are amazing. It's 3 ounces. Like, you cannot beat that price. The reason why I go through one a month is because I usually put this on after I wash my hands because it absorbs way better after I wash my hands. Right now my hands are struggling because it's dry. I think I will always repurchase it unless they change the formula in like a really bad way. I have these 2 little masks from Origin. It was in their Christmas set like from last year. I don't really recommend buying those because they're not worth it. It's like $25 and you get these tiny, like, was it 25? It's like something ridiculous. You get these tiny little samples. Like, what the heck? It looks like I didn't use all of it, but I swear to you I did. As much as I could get out of these. Original Skin Retexturizing Mask with Rose Clay, the pink one. It feels like sand, but it has something in it that also like exfoliates your skin, but it's like a physical exfoliant while you put on the mask. And so while you're applying it on, you do exfoliate it very little, but you still do. And once it dries and you're like scrubbing it off, that's when you really exfoliate your skin. And then I have the Origin Clear Improvement Active Charcoal Mask to clear pores. This one definitely feels more drying and this one feels more hydrated. I personally think that you can get cheaper and better clay masks from places other than Origin. To me, a charcoal mask is a charcoal mask. I don't think I would repurchase this one, even though it felt luxurious. It just didn't feel like it drew everything out of my pores, whereas this one felt like it did work, but it was a little bit too rough because I usually used a chemical exfoliant to peel my dead skin off my face before I even used a clay mask, so there was no real need to do that with this one because it exfoliates your skin physically, so you don't want to over exfoliate. I have a little baby fragrance empty in here. This is the Apple Brandy by Kilon on the Rocks, and by little baby I mean like this. I liked this scent so much that I actually purchased a, I guess, travel size of it. Ta-da! I was gonna say this is probably my most expensive perfume. According to my husband, this smells like smoke on me, but only when I'm like sitting a bit further from him. But when I'm sitting up close to him, he says it smells nice. So to me, it smells like apples and a hint of like the whiskey barrel. So I guess it's like spraying Jack Daniels on yourself, but Jack Daniels would be much cheaper. Hopefully I don't smell like an alcoholic to people. I just realized. As for the longevity of this, I don't think it lasts all day because of where I apply it. Like, I apply it on my wrists, which after you wash your hands a few times, it's bound to come off. But I also like put some on my neck and behind my knees if I happen to be applying the perfume before I put on pants, or if I'm not wearing pants that day, if it's like warmer. Well, I can definitely smell it by lunchtime at work, but by the end of the workday I can barely smell it, if that helps at all. And usually by lunchtime I've had it on for 5 hours, and by the end of the workday that would be 10 hours. So yeah, it lasts between 6 and 10 hours, if that makes sense. That's quite some time actually. That's more than the original 4 I said. But again, I think it depends on the person. I think I do 2 sprays on my wrist and then I put the excess on my neck like this. The last 2 products are Project Pan empties. The first one is my Bare Minerals Mineralist Lip Gloss Balm in the shade Enlightenment. I was previously working on this and thinking that it was not done yet, but then when I was editing I realized that this barely showed up on my lips, so I might as well just call it done. And it is this dark berry color. It is not what I'm wearing today. I finished it yesterday technically. I started off the year using this because it is a wintry shade, and then I got COVID, stopped using it for over a week, and then I started using it again, and then I stopped using it when it was spring. And then when fall came around and I rolled it back into my Project Pan, it was a little gritty, which was kind of concerning, but and it was starting to like separate a little bit, but the smell and the taste were still fine, so I continued to use it. And then eventually the grittiness went away, so I think it was just on the applicator, which is kind of gross, but I didn't get sick. I ended up finishing it, as you can see through the bottle. While I like this color, it's something that I feel like I only need one of in my collection. Like, I don't need it in multiple forms. I have the Clinique Black Honey, so I probably will not repurchase this as a lip gloss for a while until I finish both of my Clinique Black Honeys, because I have 2. I'll explain that in my makeup inventory. I think that the Bare Minerals Mineralist Lip Gloss Balms are really nice. However, they are not worth the $23 I think they are now. Get them when they're half off, because I think I got them during the National Lipstick Day when they were half off, and before I went on my no buy, so they were like $10 each back then. Why is inflation so crazy? And then I have my Bobbi Brown, what is this called? I already forgot. Oh, Vitamin Enriched Face Base. It's a primer and moisturizer in one. So I just used this as my morning moisturizer because it also had primer in it. I don't think this is made for people with oily skin. I got this for half off. I don't think it is worth the full price. I don't even think it's worth half off, if I'm being honest. I completely forgot I had this until I rolled it into my Project Pans, and then I was like, oh right, I have this. Because to me, it looks more like a moisturizer than a primer. So I personally wouldn't repurchase this. It feels too heavy for someone with oily skin, because the oil on your face already feels greasy enough. Those are my empties, if that's all you wanted to see, and the speed reviews. I have some recent purchases. I did not get these on a sale. Well, I got one thing on sale, but the other 2 weren't. So I've been wanting a morning moisturizer ever since I finished my Bobbi Brown primer moisturizer. I've been wanting a new morning moisturizer, so I have the Bare Minerals Poreless Oil-Free Moisturizer. I am wearing it right now. I honestly cannot tell if it is keeping my oils at bay or not, because the answer to that would be no. Yeah, it is not keeping it at bay right now, but I also I don't think I used enough, because I used 1 pump and it barely covered my face. So we'll see how that goes. I am planning on using the whole thing up unless it is terrible. But so far so good. It hasn't broken me out, and it's been probably 4 hours at this point. But I had my eye on this for a while because, like I said, I do like Bare Minerals. but a lot of the things are like either I really love them or I hate them. I also picked up this. This is the Olaplex Discovery Kit, and it has a full size of number 7 and then travel sizes of number 3, 4, 5, 8, 4C, 6, and 9. I picked this up because it was like perfect for me. I do have a travel size of the 4 and 5, which is the shampoo and the conditioner, but they are disgusting right now. So I picked this up because I'm planning on doing quite a bit of traveling next year, because it may be my last chance to before I have a kid, buy a house, all that. I also got it because I really like number 6 and number 9. For when I travel, I bring this as a heat protectant because my other heat protectant is in a big chunky bottle, and that is not what TSA approved. I know I'm going to go to Atlanta, Georgia next year, so if you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments down below, because I am completely lost. Like, I looked it up online and apparently it is boring as fuck. I got it for the bonding oil because it is $30 on its own, but this is $35. So for $5 more, you get all these products, which I thought was an amazing deal. I'm debating picking up another one so that I will always have the heat protectant, but that is a little bit crazy. My hairstylist recommended that I get this ever since I got my second haircut this year, which is insane because normally I only get one every 2 years. But my hair was really dry this year after my haircut in May, so they recommended that I use the Olaplex oil. And the last product I got, it was on sale. I specifically waited for this, is the Tree Hut Vitamin C Shea Sugar Scrub. What a mouthful, and what a tongue twister. This is supposed to be good for people with keratosis pilaris, which is chicken skin, and I have it pretty bad. I have it on my arms and my legs. Tree Hut goes on sale all the time at Ulta, so if I really like it, I can just pick it up on another sale. But if I don't like it, I'm stuck with multiple tubs. Okay, now I'm going to be moving on to my thoughts for my no-buy. So like I said earlier, I did not break my no-buy. I felt like it was pretty easy. Obviously, I still have another month to go, but I feel like it should be pretty easy. Just to reiterate, I am not allowed to ask for makeup for Christmas, and in general, I don't really like giving and receiving presents. It's not because I'm stingy and I don't want to spend money, it's because I feel like it's a waste of money sometimes, because I don't want to waste my time getting someone a present that they don't love. Obviously, it's like money. You can still return it, but it's like a waste of time again. And I don't want someone else to waste their time and money on something that I won't like. My friends are adults. We make our own money. We can buy whatever we want, whenever we want. And so the like magic is not quite there of receiving presents anymore. And I think I'm just at that point in life where I would rather spend time instead of money with friends. So like, yeah, I'd rather, you know, we go eat a nice meal together and form a memory that cannot be bought. Anyways, that was a long way of saying I'm not allowed to ask for makeup products. I'm also not planning on buying makeup as presents for anyone. I feel like if someone wants a present, I would rather exchange like baked goods or something like that. I'm planning on doing a lot of baking this year. Hopefully I will film it and do like a baking video, because I don't mean to glaze my own donut, but I think I'm pretty good at baking. Like they said, baking is a science and cooking is an art. I think baking is easier than cooking, because if you follow the recipe to a T, you should usually do pretty well. Going back into the no-buy, I feel like there's been a few times where I've been tempted, but you know, when you just can't buy makeup, you can't, you just forget about the products. Like, I already don't remember what I was tempted by. Well, I do have a pretty bad short-term memory, but maybe in a few weeks from now I will remember what I wanted, because my long-term memory is way better than my short-term. But I think that's a good thing that I don't remember. Obviously I don't need any more makeup. I have a pretty decent sized collection, which brings me to the next point, which is my thoughts for next year. So I definitely do want to continue doing this next year, a no buy, but I already know I'm going to run out of some stuff. Like, I'm probably going to run out of brow... What? I think the only thing I'll run out of is powder next year, but I definitely would like to have a powder in my collection. So I don't know how I should continue for next year. Obviously at one point I would like to start buying makeup again, but I don't know when that point is. I'm probably going to adjust the rules for next year. It would be nice to do a beauty bank again. As far as I know, I never went over my beauty bank in the past. In fact, I ended with extra credits. But I don't want to start with like a beauty bank of 20. I think it would be better if I started off at 0 and I had to earn the credits again. And in like a 2 out 1 in kind of way, if you know what I mean. So like if I finish 2 products, then I get a credit. I also tend to buy backups. This is just me talking out loud. I'm sure after I edit it will be a little bit more clear, but yeah, I tend to buy backups, so I don't want to, you know, use up, for example, 5 bronzers next year and still have like 2 left over. So then I would have like 2 credits in my bank, and then I would buy 2 more bronzers to replace the 5 that I used up. This is just theoretical. It doesn't have to be a bronzer for a bronzer because that's too complicated. But then I would purchase 2 new bronzers, but I probably wouldn't use those 2 bronzers until I finished my other 2 bronzers. So I think I'm just going to continue my no buy next year. I do really enjoy seeing my numbers go down. This way I think extra hard about what I'm using and what I'm decluttering, and you know, I feel like I have a better connection sounds as cheesy as it sounds with my collection. I also need to remind myself why I'm doing this, because I do want less stuff. I think I'm past the stage of buying a lot of new things. So for example, when I was younger, I used to go to a lot of the, it's like artist alley, where these people, they have like their wares for sale, and it's things like posters and stickers of your favorite animes and or video game characters or whatever. And I used to go ham at those fairs and buy a lot of things, but now whenever I go, I just look, because let me show you. This thing is filled with stickers, and I bet you the stickers in here are worth like over $100, probably $200, and they are cute, but it's like I did not need all of these. This is the first one I see. This sticker would have been great a few months ago. But yeah, I just have so many of these stickers. Like, look at this one. I love this one. I have multiples of these. Like, why do I have multiples? And each one of these stickers costs a lot. On average about $5 each, and well, I have a lot. Y'all have no idea how thick this is. Like, looking at this makes me feel a little sick now, knowing how much money I spent on it. So I'm just trying to use what I have now. It's like that meme where it's like, we have that at home. Well, I have that at home, and I've just learned to appreciate things without owning it. That being said, I would like to do a no buy on other things for next year. We are getting ready to buy a house, have a kid, things like that. The #1 wealth killer is lifestyle creep. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. It's when the more money you make, the more money you spend. And I think I have definitely seen lifestyle creep in my own life recently, so I would like to, you know, go back down, not all the way back down to when we were in college. You can definitely have coffee at home more often, which we do now. We could definitely have less takeout. When we go out to eat, we could probably do without 1 appetizer or like 1 main course. I don't know if it's very obvious from the camera, but I'm over 200 pounds. And I'm definitely trying to lose weight, and veggies are much cheaper than meat, and also much cheaper than eating out, so I think it will also help health-wise. I think I do want to extend my no buy into other categories such as clothing, bags, and whatever, but I have to refine it a little bit more for next year, so I'm going to spend this next month thinking about it. Because there are certain things I was considering doing, like a no buy year next year, in order to prepare for, you know, the future huge finances that I'm expecting. But also next year is like the last year of freedom for me. Last year of guaranteed freedom for me, because I want to have a child when I'm 30 and I am 28 right now. So next year I would be 29, and you know, if you want a kid when you're 30, you start when you're 29. So I'm like, okay, I do want to do a no-buy year, but at the same time I want to enjoy life before I have a child. For this year, my main reason on doing this no-buy was because I wanted less items, and I think next year there will also be a monetary reason, because I've said this before, but even though I should be paid a lot more, the amount that hits my bank account every month is about $1,800 from my job, and I get paid, yeah, every month. So that is not a lot of money where I live, and that is like the amount of disposable income that I have. I think maybe I can do like no buy months next year, where I challenge myself to not spend, but obviously also I would need to buy food. Anyways, those were all my random thoughts for the upcoming year. I will have more thoughts by the end of December. I'm probably going to do I think I'm going to do an update in January. Like, this is it for this year. I don't think I'm getting any new makeup products. I don't think anything is going to change. I'm not going to buy makeup because obviously I still want to do this no buy into the next year. That's everything for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And, you know, sorry there weren't more updates, but there honestly wasn't that much to talk about. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next year. Bye!